Hello everyone, this is Dikshak Bhatt from Team OYG. On behalf of our team, I welcome you all again on this virtual platform. Today we have wonderful speaker all the way from Mangalore, and the topic was discussion of today is the arthritis through homeopathy. Today we have Dr. Jayaditya with us. He is an intern at Alva's Homeopathic Medical College, Mangalore. And now, without the further ado, I would like you to sir take over.
Hello, and thank you for that brief introduction. As you all know, today I'm here to talk about the topic understanding arthritis through homeopathy. And as we all know, it's a very age-old, disease uh, which is a threat, which is like a menace, especially to the geriatric age. You might have seen, people complaining at your houses, maybe your grandmother, grandparents, whosoever it is. They're complaining all the time about arthritis. So today we are going to deal with such a topic. So first of all, I would like to thank Own Your Growth, the student platform, for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this wonderful collaboration. Thank you. So shall I begin?
Sure, you can go ahead.
Yes, thank you. As we all know that arthritis is basically it is a chronic disorder. So we have the stages and we have these types according to the stage of development. Now, before that, we need to know like what is arthritis? It is the inflammation of joints. Basically, according to the stage of advancement, we can divide it into four. That is rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, crystal arthropathies, and seronegative arthritis. Now, what are all this? We will understand one by one and we'll see the treatment part of it through homeopathy. Now, as we all know, there is this basic A, B, C, D that we need to understand about arthritis. That is A, alignment, B, bony mineralization, C, cartilage space, and D, the destruction of soft tissues. Now, according to this, when we understand arthritis and all these other types, as I mentioned you prior, we'll deal with the age-old topic that is very famous and known by all of us, that is osteoarthritis. What is osteoarthritis? As we all know, it is a chronic joint disorder in which there is a progressive softening and disintegration of articular cartilage and bone at the joint margins. Now, these are called as osteophytes, which is the main reason of the destruction of that particular area or that particular tissue. And also the capsular fibrosis takes place in this condition. Now, again, these are divided into two, that is primary and secondary. Now, primary, we all know it has this causes that comes with, genetic causes. There are metabolic causes. There are hormonal causes. There are mechanical causes, be it, people who lift heavy weights and all that. These are the mechanical causes. And trauma and also aging is one of the factor. But we'll try to understand what is secondary osteoarthritis, which is much more important to discuss. It is usually caused due to the infection, dysplasia, and you might have seen in cases of trauma. Trauma caused due to lifting heavy weights, commonly seen in weightlifters. So there are certain mechanisms that takes place. One of these mechanisms involve disparity between stress applied to the articular cartilage and strength of articular cartilage. Now, in this, when the strength of the articular cartilage decreases and the amount of stress that you put upon to the articular cartilage increases, that too for a long time. That is when you come up with this kind of disorder. So that is first mechanism. Now, what happens in the second mechanism? Here you can see there is increased stress, increased load. For example, body weight or activity. These are usually seen in obese people, and whose body mass index is more than 25. In such people, it is usually seen. So also, it is seen in the decreased area. For example, varus knee or dysplastic hip. In all these conditions, we can see this particular type. Now, as I told you, there are these other types. That is, when we understand all these types of arthritis, it is important for us to know what differentiates these types. Now, as I told you, in primary and secondary osteoarthritis, the age and the body weight is the issue. Similarly, in rheumatoid arthritis, if you see, the causes are usually genetic susceptibility. It has an immunological reaction that takes place involving a foreign antigen, preferably, on synovial tissues. There is inflammatory reaction in tendon sheets. There is RA factor, which is seen majorly in the blood. That's why in conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, when we ask the patient for investigation, in investigation, we usually check the rheumatoid factor, which will be more in number. So next is articular cartilage destruction. So what is the definition of rheumatoid arthritis? It is a chronic progressive disorder causing inflammation in the joints. It is a systemic autoimmune disease, basically. Autoimmune disease, you all must be knowing. It is when your body's own cell starts attacking you. That is a layman term we can speak when it comes to the matter of autoimmune diseases. Here, it is a systemic autoimmune disease, and changes can be widespread in a number of tissues of the body. It usually affects the smaller joints, like metacarpal joints and metatarsal joints. So it can be known through swan neck deformity when clinically it is presented through that. So this is rheumatoid arthritis. Now, as we all know, as prior I told you, there are other two types involving crystal arthropathies and seronegative arthritis. In seronegative arthritis, you must be all familiar with these disorders such as ankylosing spondylitis, psoriatic arthritis, reactive arthritis, and enteropathic arthritis. Now, these are commonly seen, as I told you, the causes involve genetic, metabolic, hormonal, mechanical, trauma, and aging. So in these, the causes are the same. So ankylosing spondylitis, if we go deep in the topic, its definition goes like this: chronic degenerating inflammation occurring in spine and sacroiliac joints. Now, this is a chronic degenerating arthritis, usually occurs in spine and sacroiliac joints. So it also has the same causes such as, genetic, metabolic, mechanical trauma, and aging. So it usually affects the sacroiliac joints and spine. So when there is a layman term saying, like, when the arthritis hits the spine, that is when you call it as ankylosing spondylitis. Now, how do you deal with it? Usually there are certain presentations, as I told you, there are several mechanisms that involves in the progression of arthritis, be it any arthritis. Supposedly, when we talk about osteoarthritis, I told you already two mechanisms that are involved. Now, the third mechanism is weak cartilage. This comes up with 3 S we need to remember. That is, first S being stiff, that is example, ochronosis. Second one being soft, that is inflammation. Third one being the support, that is abnormal bony support, example, AVN. Now, there are these bone, now these were the three mechanisms involving in this type of arthritis. Now, there must be few biochemical changes that are taking place in these, articular cartilages. Chondroitin 4, which is actually a sulfate-based enzyme that is released more, and the concentration is increased above a certain level, which causes disorderly breakdown of matrix framework. Now, this is the main reason why we see all the other types of arthritis, especially seronegative arthritis. What are the types of seronegative arthritis? I told you in the beginning of the session. That is ankylosing spondylitis, psoriatic arthritis, reactive arthritis, and enteropathic arthritis. Now, depending upon the position, we can classify this into 4 types. Osteoarthritis of hip, that is femoral neck buttressing. Osteoarthritis of the knee, that is sharpening of the tibial prominence, which is mainly caused due to that. Osteoarthritis involving the foot, usually caused due to the involving of metatarsal bones. Osteoarthritis of spine, that is usually due to the accumulation of nitrogen. Now, these are common. Now, due to these mechanisms and these biochemical changes of the articular cartilage, there are certain symptoms, signs and symptoms that comes up. First one is to be the pain. There is a dull ache. In the beginning, there is a dull kind of pain which progresses to swelling. Swelling progresses to stiffness, especially seen in 1 to 1.5 hours in the morning. As soon as the patient wakes up from the bed, there'll be a terrible pain for 1 to 1.5 hours, depending upon the type of arthritis. Next is the deformity. The deformity is the 4th stage. 5th one being the instability. You might have seen in the x-rays of these arthritic patients, there is no gap. As we have understood the types, and we shall move on to the homeopathic management of it. As in homeopathy, it is just the same, all the types that I mentioned, but the treatment part differs. Here we don't have any painkillers. It acts according to the totality of symptoms. It progresses like this. As the patient approaches, usually the patient approaches when there is a pain and morning stiffness for about the time duration that I've specified while I was talking during the session. So when the patient comes to you, it's usually in the 2nd or 3rd stages when there is stiffness and the patient is incapable to do his or her, daily chores. So that is when the patient comes complaining regarding pain and stiffening, especially during morning for 1 to 1.5 hours. So there are multiple, as I told you, there are multiple types. Now, first, let us see, we treat it by using the sector totality. We also treat by using the acute totality of the presentation of that particular complaint the patient comes up with. So first, let us see how we go through miasmatically. We have 3 miasms, which are usually called as the, pollutant that causes the disease, or, you have the miasmatic diathesis of arthritis. That is when get arthritis and you have these three miasms acting in the background. First being the psora, second, the syphilis, third, the psychosis. These three miasms, they have different characteristics and different physical, genetic, and mental makeup. According to these, we treat the diseases by taking the totality of symptoms. Then we repertorize the particular symptoms. We'll find certain rubrics with which we'll get certain medicines. And according to the totality, we find a suitable simillimum that acts on these particular areas, be it the physical generals of the patient, be it the mental generals of the patients, and also the acute and sector totality of the patient. So first one being the psoric type. Here it is curable and there is no scar as per the physician's knowledge until now. So acute arthritis, reactive arthritis and inflammatory types of arthritis, be it SLE or rheumatoid arthritis. These are all usually which has the subtypes. That is, rheumatoid arthritis has subtypes such as psychotic arthritis, which is usually aggravated by the damp, wet weather. Now, this includes the pericardial and all the membranes. It can be managed, but it is not completely curable as per now, as per the understanding we have obtained till now. Next is the syphilitic arthritis. In this, osteomyelitis and usually osteoarthritis is seen, where there is a destruction of the articular cartilages. Syphilitic miasm is said to be the most destructive of the other two types. So basically, it is only seen when there is a lot of destruction that has taken place in the articular cartilage. Now, next one is psychotic arthritis. As I told you, the third miasmatic type. So it is usually seen in arthritis like reactive arthritis. Now, there are two ways you can study these under two ways. One is psoriatic arthropathy, and second one being which is caused due to the progression of untreated gonorrhea. Now, psoriatic arthropathy leads to infection, and the infection subsides, and then there is antigen antibody phenomenon that is taking place, which leads to reactive arthritis. As I told you, the second phenomenon, that is untreated gonorrhea, that leads to inflammation, which is usually cured by the mercurial medicines, mercurial preparations that we have seen, which is again leading to antigen antibody phenomenon. So this is how psychotic arthritis progresses. Now, as I told you, the other type, that is rheumatoid arthritis. This usually comes after the progression of rheumatic heart disease or rheumatic fever, which is 100% curable through homeopathy. For example, there is a saying, again, a layman saying that, usually rheumatoid heart disease, it licks the joints and bites the heart. So it's like an autoimmune phenomenon. Usually proceeds with starts with the throat, and then it progresses further. And then you have rheumatoid arthritis. So the medicines for these, like how do we manage the cases? We usually in homeopathy, it is not like you have pain, we give you remedies that gives you pain. It's not like that, or there is no painkiller basically. So we take the case history, we ask the patient how it developed, how was the onset, how was the progress, what is the duration of the disease, and what is the sensation, what is the type of pain. and when it aggravates and when it ameliorates. That is the modalities. So onset, progress, duration, sensation, modalities, and concomitants. We take all these into consideration, and then we arrive at a sector totality. Totality is a group of symptoms which we get at the end of our case taking. So we also ask the patient's past history, any surgical history involved, any personal history, any if it is a woman, if it is a female, menstrual history, all these things. After that, we proceed to physical generals and mental generals. Physical generals usually involves the thirst, the diet, appetite, micturition, bowels, all these. Just a second. Shall I proceed?
Yeah, you can go for that.
Yeah. As I told you, it totally depends upon the case taking, and we arrive at the sector totality, usually the totality of the symptoms that leads to the simillimum or the suitable remedy, a similar remedy. So yes, so now, as I told you, psoriatic arthritis, there are anti-psoric medicines. As I told you, psora, syphilis, and psychosis, these three different miasms. There are different medicines that belongs to these categories. That is psora with the anti-psoric medicines, psychosis with the antipsychotic medicines, and syphilis, that is anti-syphilitic medicines. So psoriatic arthritis is usually dealt with the anti-psoric medicines like Sorinum, and tubercular arthritis, that is dealt usually with the constitutional medicines or the no-sodes. No-sodes are the medicines that are prepared by the disease secretions of the organisms, be it any living entity that is suffering with that particular disorder, be it arthritis. If you are giving the medicine to the arthritis, you are going to give a nosode that acts on the particular joints. And psychotic and syphilitic arthritis. Now, as I told you, this is not curable. It is, we can only palliate or we can manage the disease. We can make the patient, be better with the symptoms. Like they do not complain about the symptoms, because symptoms are the most annoying in these types of arthritis. There is excruciating pain in these types of arthritis, which is why the patient complains more of these arthritis than the other two types I discussed prior. So psychotic and syphilitic arthritis, it is usually dealt with the pathological drugs. Usually in homeopathy, we don't go by the pathological drugs. We usually go by the acute totality, sector totality, and also constitutional medicines, but not pathological drugs that we usually use in the incurable cases and pathological conditions, which we cannot, take a risk to worsen the complaint, because patient usually comes, trying after all the other systems of medicines. They'll be like, we have tried for 10 years, it's not cured. So we really need, medicine that can decrease my pain. कुछ भी हो जाए, आप मुझे ऐसा कोई मेडिसिन दो जिसकी वजह से मेरे मेरा pain कम हो जाए. That is the thing that patient tells you. They won't care about whether the disease goes by the root or root cause or whatever it is. So that is the reason why we use pathological drugs and no-sodes. Again, as I told you, these are the medicines that are prepared out of the diseased secretion of the individuals that are suffering from this particular disorder. And usually that this is caused by a malignancy that proceeds to metastasis. And we have medicines like, we have ample of medicines, but one of those medicines which I have seen commonly used in such kind of arthritis is melandrinum. So in such kind of psychotic and syphilitic arthritis, the pathological drug and nosodes are used, especially melandrinum. Now, on the basis of investigations, we differentiate these arthritis. Now I told you 3 types of arthritis and its management. How do we differentiate? Now, we usually differentiate not based also, of course, based on the investigations, but also based on the modalities. Modalities are the aggravation and amelioration factors that can be easily detectable. We know what type of arthritis is this and what type of medicine suits the particular patient that comes up with the particular complaint, be it so seasonal modalities. Patient आके बोलेगा मुझे समर में ज्यादा है, विंटर में पेन बहुत ज्यादा होता है, in the rainy, damp, wet weather, I have pain more while I wake up in the morning. And sometimes patient says time modalities such as रात के 12 बजे के बाद मुझे पेन आता है, दोपहर के 3 बजे के बाद या फिर सुबह उठने के तुरंत बाद, there will be pain. So, and also we can go for the other types of modalities, especially seen in females, that is during menses, after menses, and before menses. Doctor, I have pain before menses, I have pain after menses. People come with that complaint. So we take that into consideration. We take that into the totality of the symptoms. Now, also there is a 4th way of knowing what is the type, that is based on the ailments. Ailments is what is the cause, what is the thing that irritates that particular type of arthritis more, be it ailments from trauma. The patient has a history of trauma and बार बार उसी जगह पर मार लगने की वजह से या फिर वेट्स को ज्यादा उठाने की वजह से उनमें जो पेन ज्यादा एग्रेवेट होता है, पेशेंट अपने आप ही बता देता है. पेशेंट हिम बाय they by themselves comes with a complaint like, doctor, I had a history of accident few years ago, and after that I fell on the same part, like on my knees again and again, because of what it is instigating my pain. So I need something for this. I need my pain to stop. That is when you take this ailments into consideration. This is helpful in the selection of remedy. Why? Because we go with the totality of the symptoms. Next, pathological drugs. These drugs have affinity. Certain drugs have affinity towards certain joints. For example, avian. It is usually incurable. So we go for the totality of the symptoms of the patient and we give a particular drug. For example, rust ox. Rust ox usually has its aggravation at the damp weather and amelioration, and the pain is aggravated in the first movement. That is, they are in the position of rest for a long time and they wake up or they rise from the resting position. That is when they have too much of pain, and then they'll be like, सोकर उठते ही मुझे pain ज़्यादा होता है. That is when they come and complain to you. That is when you have to take that into consideration. So that particular drug suits this modality. So, and also there are times when patient comes complaining in terms of syphilitic arthritis. There is this pus flowing out, which is usually good in syphilitic arthritis, according to homeopaths, because the disease is flowing out. That is how we say that. But it is a very annoying symptoms for the patient. They'll be like, do something, but make this pus stop, because I can't bear this, because it's a very annoying symptoms. That is when you take into consideration patient's demands, and that's when you have to give certain drugs which might suppress the disease for the time being, but it might come up with a higher intensity the next time. So you should be always careful when it comes to matter of patient needs and patient's demands. You can't just because you are a homeopath and you have certain principles to follow, you can't be like, oh, if I give you this particular remedy, it might suppress your case and it might go worse. You can't tell it to the patient. You just have to give them what they ask you to. So now you should we usually get to know when there is a fistula from bone to skin and through which out of it, and that is when you know, take that into consideration. You shouldn't suppress it. Usually you shouldn't suppress the disease by giving it anti-syphilitic, remedy and suppressing it forever, or else giving it remedies that is usually given for pus. For example, Cilicia is a medicine we give for pus formation, pus flowing out of any fistula, any sinus, any particular part of the body. So when you give that, pus will be suppressed. That means you are suppressing the disease basically. But when you take the sector totality, when you take the totality and you go for miasmatic treatment and give them anti-miasmatic drug which is suitable for the particular patient, that is when you get better. That is when you say that your patient is on the right direction of cure. Now next is post-traumatic arthritis. It is usually seen in cases of slip disc, and it is usually non-miasmatic background. In such cases, you can go for symptomatic level of treatment. So these are the few ways through which we can deal with arthritis homeopathically. But finally, it all depends upon the patient, and it is completely in the patient's hands to to be taking care of their health, or choosing what's best for them. All you need to take care of is what the patient's demands are. So according to that, you have to move. We know that we have all these 7 cardinal principles we need to follow in homeopathy, but ultimately it is in the patient's hands, because it is for the patient's benefits that we are doing all this. So we should always go for the patient's demands. So that is how you deal with arthritis homeopathically, and this is few ways you can manage through homeopathy. Now again, I'm telling you, it depends, as homeopathy deals with the law of nature, that is similia, similibus curenta, that is like cures like. So according to the law of nature itself, we are giving them the remedies that might aggravate or instigate their symptoms for a time being. It might elevate the symptoms for a time being, but it is for the betterment of the patient, because it starts to gradually make the patient feel better. First sign is there is a improvement in their generals, that is their first gets better. They'll be like, doctor, mujhe ye hone ki wajah se I'm not able to sleep properly, I'm not able to eat properly, I'm having loss of appetite, so all these things will be improved first, and then there is a feeling of betterment for the patient. No matter the symptoms still exist, the disease also exists, but once the patient starts feeling better, the generals starts getting better, that is when you know that you are in the right direction of cure. But as I told you, in chronic arthritic conditions, when they have pain or disease condition for like 10 years, you can't expect these medicines to cure you within like one. Yeah, as we discussed the management of arthritis through homeopathy, I wanted to tell you regarding how homeopathy actually works, that is depending upon the law of nature, that is similia similibus curenta. That means like cures like, or let likes be cured by the likes. So we have these, we take the case completely, and we come up with the acute totality, the sector totality, and based on the chronic or the acute exacerbation, we give them the remedies on the basis of symptoms, on the basis of the patient's presentation, on the basis of the patient's constitution. So if we are dealing with the acute exacerbation of a chronic disease, we usually treat it with the acute totality, acute presentation. Patient has arthritis from like 10 years, and it was subsided due to certain medications taken by the patient, but then it has this elevation of symptoms due to a trauma that might have happened like a week ago. Because of what? There is a pain in the same area. The patient had pain since 10 years, which was you know suppressed by some medications taken by the patient. So when you give an acute totality, it might aggravate the conditions, that is elevate the conditions for a time being. Now that phase is called as curative phase. Usually we get like to the system homeopathy, not only system homeopathy, entire Ayush, be it Ayurveda, yoga, and naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy. Usually we get cases that are chronic in nature. Patient has tried all the systems of medicine and they come to you saying that, oh, just do something, but we want to get rid of this. So when patient has like a 10 years of disease, you can't promise them to cure it within 10 days. So it has its own curative phase. So all the patient need to do is just wait and watch patiently. Now how do we see whether the medicines that we have given is actually acting on the patient or not? There is Herring's law of cure, which says, if the direction of progress of the disease and the direction of the progress of cure should be the same. So that is, when you give a particular remedy according to the symptom similarity, uh, the patient starts to feel better. There is a feeling of betterment. Second, there is the physical generals, that is diet, appetite, bowels, micturition, thirst, thermals of the patient starts improving. And this is another way you get to know that your treatment is in the right direction. Thirdly, there is a slight elevation of symptoms. Patient has to bear with it. But it's very difficult for the patient to bear, as they have already been bearing the disease for long enough. So because of which it is very difficult for the physician to deal with such cases, because it really is in the physician's hand how to develop a rapport with the patient, how to develop the trust and the bond with the patient, so that you convince the patient and help them through this curative phase. That is also equally very important for a homeopathic physician or any physician, to support the patient both mentally and physically with the help of the remedies, the medicinal drugs that we give. Now, we also have, as I told you in the previous session, we deal with the patients differently to every individual. That is called as individualization. Homeopathy has its own individualistic way to deal with the diseases or the patients. We treat the patients as a whole and not as a disease, or not just as a disease. So we treat them, we have symptoms in all these remedies, head to toe symptoms, and as per the patient's complaints, as per the symptom similarity, as per the totality of symptoms, we go with the certain set of medicines that are suitable. As I told you, for psoriatic arthritis, we go for anti-psoriatic medicines. For syphilitic arthritis, we go for anti-syphilitic medicines. For psychotic arthritis, we go for anti-psychotic medicines. And tubercular arthritis, we go with the nosodes and the constitutional type of, pathological medicines, drugs. So different approach to different individual as per the need. So we have 7 cardinal principles. We have different pioneers that suggests us the way to deal with certain patients, depending upon their totality, their symptom similarity. So when we arrive at a particular simillimum, we usually see these things, as I told you now, there is a feeling of betterment, then there is slight elevation of the symptoms, then there is these physical generals that are getting better, then there is this mental satisfaction, that is the mental general starts getting better. That is when you know that you're in a right path. Ultimately, as we all know, prevention is much better than cure. So as per my knowledge, as a homeopathic physician, I also advise my patients regarding how to prevent. That is when you see, cure is always from the stage the disease has progressed. It's so, as I told you, prevention is better than cure. It is always advisable. Uh, Whenever any patient comes to me, I always advise them for preventive measures that is to be taken. That is balanced diet, mental, exercising, physical exercising, and also oblique meditation. That is very much helpful for any particular case. And I'm sure in yoga and naturopathy there are certain asanas that helps us, with the arthritis or any disease. So as also me, my personal experience, I have been doing yoga from a long time, so I have seen its benefits. So I also recommend people to be at least any sort of physical exercise, if not yoga or anything, up to your particular age, whatsoever it is. So I suggest these to the patient so that they use prevention, which is much better than cure, because cure is usually from the stage of the disease has progressed to an extent and the destruction has already taken place, and you can't revert back the destruction. You can only stop the progression of destruction. So which is the reason why I always suggest for the prevention. So you can take constitutional remedies, you can go for all these balanced diets, physical exercises, which is very much important for every human being. So through homeopathy, or be it any system of medicine, if it goes hand in hand with each other, that is when there is a harmony in your health. So I would like to conclude by thanking this wonderful student platform that helps people aspire the other alternate system of medicines, which is usually not known by many of us, many of the patients. So it's doing a wonderful job. And I would like to appreciate all its coordinators and all the people who are, coordinating it wonderfully and bringing the talkers together and making them, making people know what is the importance of Ayush and also the other systems of medicines. Not only that, but also many other things that you guys have been dealing with. I am really, I really want to, proceed my gratitude towards all these people who are doing this wonderful job. Keep up the good work. And thank you so much for collaborating with me so that I could have this wonderful session. I wish to see further sessions in the upcoming future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words, and it was a lovely session. We are glad to, the words you shared for us, and
Yes.
we are glad that we could have you again on this platform, and we will wish to have you again on this platform.
Sure, sure.
It was a lovely session with you, sir, and you covered all the topics. So I think there would be no doubts further. But if there is anything, we will let you know, sir, in future.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for connecting with us and giving us your precious time, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Especially a special thanks to you, as today's session was really
helpful for many of us, not only because it is arthritis or it is a very important topic to be dealt with, but also because it is a topic that is usually neglected by the people. So thanks for bringing into limelight, and thank you for collaborating with me. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a good day, sir.
Yes, thank you. Same to you.